create those small craters is going to be very, very useful. Chaos and the panic that ensues after a circle like that. But as usual, I'm going to set all this up and we are not going to go towards the eastern side, so I won't talk about it until that happens. In the meantime, Thunder talks over towards that central arena, like you said, with DX Xavier. Well, maybe I do need to talk about it. Completely undefined, right? Completely undefined. I'd say it was slightly more over towards that northeastern side in terms of land. But yeah, I think that you pretty much have to stick to your guns here. If you're out for 7, you are having a great time off the back of this. Mad Bulls moving into GK. Very, very bad stuff here happening for them. But luckily, Flip's on the outside. Wonderful off-angle player, but he's got 2 in front of him. sabse and Ragnarok. See what Flip can get done here. He's very good when it comes to the clutches, usually, for Mad Bulls.
Oh, Ragnarok rolls on in and finds the 2 players. So I think there might have been 3 on the middle there for the Mad Bulls. Flip with a nade on in, looking to try and stop Ragnarok from doing any more damage here. But the rest of his team has melted. He might be an off-angle player, but now he is the angle. And we'll have to try and find something. Nice. A real big re-knock there as Ragnarok actually has to send around the edge. But fortunately, here's Kowtow down behind as Regnum Kaya chime into the fight. There's off angles everywhere, Blank. This is the messy area we were talking about. This northern road, so difficult.
That's a bold push. Very, very bold push from Flip here. He's been taking a little bit of damage from behind, hoping this nade goes through. Regnum Kaya completely stymieing his approach. I think that's a very
ओजी 14वें नंबर पे भाई अभी तक एक भी पॉइंट नहीं हुआ ओजी का
It put the pressure on Flip in a big way where he had to speed up his gameplay, accelerate a little bit because it meant his teammates dying. And Ragnarok might just get I think getting the full team res is going to be a bit difficult. Maybe if he cleaned this up slightly sooner. There's a slight indecision here, and now Regnum Kai should be able to clean up the pieces nice and easily.
There we go. They are indeed eliminated. Regnum Kaya now up to 5 elims. They've lost one of their players, but there's still plenty of firepower for them to play with, and 5 points is not a bad game by any stretch. Now, we head over to the route out of Jejina City, the bridge mouth here where E-Arena have sat. DRX were up in the buildings for a long time, and now they want to exert more control over the area and get past this E-Arena blockade on this northeast side. But R8 are pushing in from the west. They're already up to 7 elims, Blank. They've had a hot start to the game, and they want to continue taking out Hyunbin like it's nothing.
Hyunbin going down is pretty problematic. I mean, Hyunbin's probably one of DRX's better players as well.
ये दोनों
early there is pretty tough. Soaz now has a very, very big task ahead of him, but I would say that, you know,
DRX push डाल रहा है अकेले
for the squad. Is able to take out one, making this into a 3v3 versus R8. Now R8
नहीं नेट का कनेक्शन नहीं हो पाएगा.
Since taking down the Brazilian squad in Alpha 7, look to push out now.
वो दोनों मिलके पुश करेंगे. ओ गया भाई DRX गया.
Giving them the quick start steps, but it's not going to phase them at all. R8 have been through the ringer already, and and they know the tricks of the trade. They'll move up to the north side now because Arena are struggling against one. They're getting mashed up across the road. What on earth just happened over there? R8, the major profit makers, though, on this engagement on the south side with IQ over the horizon. They continue to push up north.
Yeah, I mean, disgusting Molotov coming through from QXE.
ओजी 1 पॉइंट ले ली भाई.
Damage. Luckily, Prestige
अबे आरएट ने 12 पॉइंट ले लिए.
Get the backstab, but he was
कसम भाई. अगले मैच में 12 पॉइंट सिर्फ किल के भाई.
Such an evil circle to start off the day. In fact, just to start off PMGC in general. And Alpha 7 get incredibly lucky with this one. I think that's the play you have to make if you're a two-man squad, is you head to the unknown side of the map, which in this case is northeast. But they get so lucky this continuing to be in the circle in stage 5. I mean, by stage 5, you're usually assuming the circle to pick one of two land masses to go to. But because this has been so central each time, the algorithm basically just says, well, we just have to split.
स्प्लिट में खेलेंगे. उतरा. अरे माँ कसम, क्या 1 HP बचा है ये. गाड़ी फोड़ दी और नेट को क्या वो घुस गया अंदर. बाहर आया. भाई अकेला बंदा, वो उसके टीममेट्स किधर है भाई? आगे सब आगे भाई. इधर एक टीम नहीं भाई, 3-4 टीमें है इधर बे. अरे ले गया भाई, खत्म.
I mean, it's the correct move. It's the correct move from Thunder Talks. It was slightly less glamorous than they were hoping potentially, but it is the right move. Is to send 3 out on a quick spin there to take down Baton, because the way he was running around, I think they realized that they were just going to be wasting nades, sending them out the window, hoping for something like that. If they get this done right now, it means they can have a lot more pressure over towards the future. DXA played a blinder here on this game, over towards that northeastern position after seeing that circle and getting it done so effectively. APG with some good nades as per usual, but one is sent back.
APG का एक नॉक है. ये ले स्कार पे. अरे खत्म है भाई, एक को तो डाल दिया पूरा उन्होंने. फटफटी चल रही बे.
Xavier making that rotate in has really paid off. I mean, the circle's helped, but they have managed to maintain that position on the north side here.
नहीं connection नहीं निकला बे.
On that southwest side, and they are rotating through. They've had oversight on so many of these fights. I mean, we saw brilliant nades just then, but none of them really mattered for the teams throwing them because of so much pressure coming through from DXavier's position.
They have held a really nice 4-man split as well, which I'm sure the desk will talk about at some point, but being able to do that over towards that tree line is not easy. There's plenty of positions teams could backstab you from, but I think they were keeping tabs on the circle very, very well, and immediately, as you saw there, as soon as the team got anywhere close...
अबे OG भी चली गई क्या?
VP,
OG ने क्या वो करके रखा है भाई?
Now have set themselves up beautifully on this north side. They're one of the last to the
OG ने 3 पॉइंट ले लिए भाई. 9 पोजीशन पे है.
Teams had similar ideas here, but in their case, VP has 4 players as opposed to Alpha 7's 2, so has a much.
लेकिन ये भाई OG के साथ 4 प्लेयर नहीं, 3 एक गवा दिया भाई उन्होंने.
They need to take down most of the teams on the western side. Then they need to get
APG
knockover towards
डॉग भी है बेंच. टॉप भी है.
I think if you were to put money on this match, fake monopoly money, of course, you'd probably be betting that on VP.
Yeah, I think that is the smart money right now. I think you might be right on that one. IQ trying to leave, GS dropping down, trying to find one of their backstops, and they will be able to do so fairly simply. I mean, the rotate necessary coming through from IQ.
भाई जो भी आया बे स्ट्रीम पे लाइक करो बे. फटाफट लाइक हो जाना चाहिए.
Will fall to IQ, and they will stop at 13 elims, playing almost 50% of their points this match have come through.
Oh, नेट से गया.
Fantastic, if you ask me. Thunder Talk now pushing in as well.
पिंग जाएगा. स्टिंग जाएगा, मेरे को लग रहा है स्टिंग जाएगा। ओ भाई क्या नेट कनेक्शन है, 1v1 लेगा क्या? अरे डाउन कर दिया उसने। ओ भाई, भाई क्या कवर दिया बे। भाई टीटी ने बहुत बहुत बेहतरीन मारा बे उनको। आरएड भी बाहर हो गई अभी, अभी मतलब एलिमिनेट हो गई है। टीटी बची है, ओजी है, वीपी है, 1 2 3 4। अबे भाई ओजी का
They've managed to find some divots very early across the way. Talked about them before. Now here we are with them being given
लेकिन ये ओजी
a massive amount of circle luck to keep themselves in this one.
What a love from Parajim.
एकेओपी है भी भाई, एके है भी, एके है। एके पे मौका कसम 4 4 बंदे हैं भाई।
Say the team play is phenomenal this game. I've been very impressed with maybe not the mechanical skill, but the decision making overall has been very, very good from Thunder Talks.
भाई
2 players now holding off against 3, but it's Lamball to fall, leaving just Nate left. He is closer to the water, and Thunder Talk do need to move on.
नीड आ रहे, नीड आ रहे, नहीं नहीं अच्छे कनेक्शन नहीं बना पा रहा है ये लोग।
This is a bit more of a difficult push now.
लास्ट बंदा बचा उन पे।
Have oversight to some of these side angles that Thunder Talk are going to want to use.
ये फटा नहीं बे, नहीं फट पाया, लेकिन एक जाएगा इसमें। अबे क्या कर रहे हो बे, किसी को तो कुछ। अरे वो उसको किसने मार दिया? A7 के ले गया भाई।
That's an annoying one for Thunder Talks. I think they were just about to get that knock as well.
लेकिन उसने अच्छी पोजीशन, एके ने अच्छी पोजीशन लेके रखी है भाई। अगर इसने चिकन मारा ना यहाँ से भाई, मजा आ जाएगा।
Thunder Talks might win this game. I might be wrong. I think for Virtus Pro, I mean, all things considered, this absolutely made sense for Virtus Pro to win this game.
एके को स्पॉट किया क्या इसने?
I would be lying to myself to say that I made a mistake that I don't think I did.
मत करना बीपी,
I think it's just a case of the circles.
रप्पा रप्पा काटा जाएगा।
But for Thunder Talks, I'm gonna.
भाई एके ने मस्त पोजीशन होल्ड करके रखी है, बस थोड़ा सा पेशेंस रखे ना भाई, मस्त किल निकाल लेगा वो। ये कहाँ घुस गया? पानी में घुस गया ये। पानी से क्रॉस कर रहे बे, देख ना, एक बंदा पीछे छोड़ के पानी से क्रॉस कर रहे हैं लोग। माँ कसम एक एक क्या काम करके बैठा, माँ कसम। ओ भाई साहब, एक बंदा है भाई तेरे सामने, एक है, एक टीम है बे पूरी सामने तेरे।
Just a note on the circle on the minimap, it's slightly offset from where it actually is. It's a little bit further southwest than this, so
नेट कर रहा है आई थिंक। अभी एके को कोई स्पॉट ही नहीं कर पा रहा है भाई। लास्ट तक मत करो, मत करो, मत करो तुम लोग, लास्ट तक मत करो।
It's really nasty to everyone involved here. And I mean, Alpha 7, they might also have a chance in this one, Blank, which is crazy.
ओ मां कसम भाई, इसको कोई स्पॉट ही नहीं कर पा रहा है।
I mean, teams are bruised up and cut up, and I think that you'd be, I think you'd be okay saying that.
भाई यार लिटरली भाई ये चीज बहुत सेक्सी है भाई, माँ कसम।
There's a case where this game is all down to chance now. On this next circle shift, the last one of the game.
मत करो स्पॉट भाई, प्लीज इसको मत करना स्पॉट।
Looking fairly happy, but I can't quite tell where that is.
चूतिया उधर।
On the mini map, I'm waiting for the map feed to update here. But that does head back over towards Boston as well as Aragon-ish. And I think Virtus Pro still do have the edge here.
भाई क्या चल क्या आ रहा है भाई ये?
Really, really tricky. The circle closes central, Blank, which is actually in the water. I think it's time for a swim.
I think it might be time for a swim.
एक एक को जोन में जाना पड़ेगा, मुझे लग रहा है एक एक को जोन लेना पड़ेगा भाई।
But India getting themselves at least top 4 to start things off
हाँ
with. But
एक पे गया बे,
discovered
मार दिया बे
after
उसने
taking
यार,
in King.
एक मर गया भाई।
Yeah, but take him down. 3 teams.
अरे यार उसने स्पॉट कर लिया बे उसको।
4 players of Virtus Pro. They're split 2 and 2. A nade here could be dangerous. Could cause themselves to bleed out a little bit further. But this is the time that Virtus Pro are going to use to flex out. They're really needing to control Alpha 7 here. And Thunder Talk can't take shots over towards their backstop with these front 2 playing it. Virtus Pro playing on an
नॉक डाला एक,
now, but it's working.
हाँ एलिमिनेट, टीटी गई।
Over towards Xing. Milky Way might
टीटी का लास्ट बंदा बचा है, क्या वो निकालेगा? उसका भी लास्ट, इसका भी लास्ट। इधर से थर्ड पार्टी करने का सोच रहे बे ये लोग। नेड को किया उसने, शॉटगन, वो उसके हाथ में नेड है। अरे नहीं 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 नहीं, ओ उसने इसको देख ही नहीं पाया भाई। रोंगन ने ले लिया पे। हो सकता है इधर से थर्ड पार्टी ले गया। ओ भाई चिकन डिनर भाई। नाइस वे, अल्फा 7 ले गया, चिकन ले गया, अल्फा 7 ले गया।
Salvage game, but let's head back over to the desk to see what they had to think about this one.
क्या यार, वीपी ने चिकन निकाल लिया भाई। अब देखो क्या होता है, लेकिन एक एक को यार थोड़ा फाइट ले लेना चाहिए था वहां पे, 1-2 पॉइंट तो निकल ही आते भाई, 1-2 पॉइंट तो निकल ही आते भाई अगर होता तो। क्या बोलते हो? टफ तो था बे, टफ था गाइस।
to land on majority of water here. Hey, it's PMGC circles, Max, man. What else can we expect, right?
Yeah, like Rondo, there's just a little river. There's no way it's
Ah,
going
yeah.
to right? Yeah. Right? And it does, like, it's genuinely so impactful in the later stages of this game.
Fuck हो गया भाई।
Shifting
Top.
to the east every single circle shift. I don't know what the hell was happening. Alpha 7 and Virtus Pro, of course, congrats on the amazing game. You guys got a little bit lucky with the circle there, and you know what? They made the most out of it, Hot Jukes. That's what you want to see. And Virtus Pro, Aragon in particular, and Malloy, Milky Way, the guys putting up the numbers and coming out huge here on this first game on Rondo as the kings of the CSA region.
Let's go. I mean, it's so crazy. I mean, towards the end of that game, I mean, for us in the background, we were like, all right, yeah, you know what? Alpha 7, they got this win. And then for a second, we were like, all right, Thunder Talk, they are in the best position here. And then all of a sudden, just Virtus Pro with that 2-2 split, man, they crushed it, Neptura.
They did.
Oh,
I
my.
don't know how they got off of that ridge just into complete nothingness with only smokes, right? But it was the controlling aspect of the 2-2 split either side of the river. I was skeptical at first about how that was gonna go, but honestly, it worked so well because it meant that they could control each other's enemy aggressors rather. So really loved how they played that, controlled the circle, amazing.
Yeah, as we can take a look here at that game one more time there. Virtus Pro, man, they were able to just get it done right at the last second there. We saw Obscura try to be able to get that double.
भाई थोड़ा अभी वो लगना पड़ेगा। हाउ आर यू? आई एम फाइन, व्हाट अबाउट यू? Hmm.
Was right next to them, and they thought, listen, if we third party DRX and E Arena, then R8 are just going to third party us. We're going to leapfrog all of this, let R8 do that third party, and then we're just going to gatekeep them the whole time. And that got them those placement points. They were able to full send it to the middle and get top 4. A brilliant play. And this is what I'm saying. They're a smart team. They know what they're doing against these global teams.
Yeah, and though looking at the leaderboards, we saw for second there, Hot Tricks, we need to mention Thunder Talk. Like, those guys, 15 points right out of the gates here for the PL region, setting up absolutely game-winning positions onto the western side. I think earlier on they had a big 2-2 split, then they regrouped onto mini heaven, as we were calling it in this game, a little plateau area, and their zoning capabilities were just second to none. They were so efficient at making sure they were creating space for themselves to transition later on in that game. Thunder Talk, I want to see more of this, because this is the Thunder Talk you expect to see coming forward after their PL season.
And their quick decision making, I think, really showed off right here, because you saw D Xavier in a really dominant position, but Thunder Talk wasted no time, pushed on them, and took them out the game. But, you know, D Xavier ended up with 8 points. Thunder Talk ended up with 15, but it's all Malloy here. I mean, look at that. 870 damage. What a great start here for this team, Max. They use the rest of the top 4 players, and I'm not surprised we see, of course, one of the Thunder Talk players right here and now, Max.
Yeah. Setting up the plays at the end there. And I think Nipchura talking about actually Thunder Talk, that push we saw later on in the game onto, I believe it was D Xavier over that little valley point, keeping one player on the backside, I believe it was King.
Yes.
That was literally the most perfect execution of that play for Thunder Talk in particular that we could have expected in that situation. It was so well played.
It was so nice. I love to see sitting pretty number 2 here on the top 4 players. It's really nice, and it's really it's a good example or a good representation of what this game was for them. It was really
GD33, the official gaming
Beautifully done. I mean, man, R8 starting off strong. So many different things to talk about, but that's it for Rondo. Next up, we're gonna go into Aaron Gale, Max. And when it comes to Aaron Gale, right, we already saw some hot drops in Rondo. I know that we're going to possibly have some ones here in the big map of Aaron Gale. Which ones do you think are going to happen here, Max?
Well, I'm a bit scared about Virtus Pro and Alpha 7 because they both drop in George Poles.
Bye, yaar.
They do drop in Mill to Power for Virtus Pro, so there could be a little bit of a clash there. But the main one, I think that me and Nipchura are both going to be heavily paying attention to moving forward, is going to be GS Team hot dropping APG in military base, because they kept doing it during the scrims. Are they going to do it today, Nep? I'm hoping no, but they might.
I really hope they don't, because like we discussed yesterday, right, while we were watching that, it's like, if you want to go and hot drop another team that maybe has just switched to that position because of PMGC, then fine. But you don't hot drop APG in the location they have had for years across multiple different teams. No matter what team they're on, they drop military base. They know the ins and outs so intimately of that location that for GS to go, hey, actually, we're going to uproot you out of that. No, you're not. It's not happening. Go somewhere else. Don't hot drop. Don't do it.
It's big enough to have 2 teams, okay, guys?
Dude,
it's way
true,
more than enough
but
buildings and
APG's like,
military
nah.
base. Yeah, it like genuinely, Hot
Military.
Jukes, if we see the fight happen again between GS Team and APG in military, it's 100% intentional, and I think GS are kind of throwing. I want it to be top 7.
Because even when we were watching it during the scrims, it's not like any of these teams were, either the two squads were walking away unscathed, right? Like, they were all walking away with 2 players gone or 1 player out of there. And I mean, when we're playing 3 Erangels, this is the map in particular you don't want to waste any time on, right? So
Yeah.
it's crazy to see. I mean, a hot drop of this scale. But I mean, we talk about, I mean, these teams here, and APG in particular, they don't move for nobody, Max.
They're never gonna, like, I think that we're gonna be 10 years in the future in PUBG Mobile Esport, and APG will still drop on Sovnovka Island in military base. Okay, this is their position for the longest time, and it will stay that way moving into the future. Though looking at the hot drops that used to happen, we used to have Orangutan, right? Neptura hot dropping versus Regnum Karia in Rozok. They changed their drop location now dropping around shelter area. They can also go to Severny if they want. I think this is a great change for the better, and I'm really happy with Orangutan making that switch.
Yeah, I am too, because it really plays into their edge style, their edge play style, right? They like to wrap around the edge and control as the game gets later and later, and so to go center when all the other teams
start होने वाला है बे.
play center in this lobby, so to land center and then try to play edge is going to be too much of a hassle, and you're probably going to get caught out early. So really nice to see them move to a more of an edge position on the map, and so then they can actually play how they want to play a lot easier.
Yeah, you can see these players locked, loaded, ready to go here into Erangel. Are we going to see those hot drops? Military base is going to get crazy. And I mean, it still just freaks me out every single time, because I'm like, why are we dealing with this? There's so much room. You could easily have a team go Novo, loot half the place, and be fine with it, but they're going to crack away at it no matter what, you know? Now, we got some other teams, other players here that I definitely want to talk about, right? We didn't get to really talk about at the top of the show about GK, right, Max? And I know Nerzed joining them has been a really, really big improvement for them. What do you think about that?
I really like the way Nerzed has been playing with the team during PMSL Mina. He was so impactful, but also not just solo carrying. Very clearly, it's the entire team putting up some really good results. Berlin, Kevin, Nerzed, Ragnarok, everyone's doing fantastic in their games. Safety also, of course. And I do think it's still a slow process, because adding a player as experienced as Nerzed in this team, it's still taking time for them to adapt, because they have a completely different meta, right, from when he was in CSA, now joining the MENA region. But they've had time now since PMSL and now going into this tournament. So I feel like
next match Erangel.
even stronger.
देखते हैं अब Erangel में क्या होता है guys.
MENA team make it to the finals. I feel like that's the region a lot of people are looking at. That might not have any teams to represent them in the finals, but if any of them is going to make it, I think GK is definitely one of those squads that I'm going to be paying very close attention to.
Yeah, and I also think that maybe in PMGC, in a global lobby, they're actually going to be a little bit more comfortable, because now Nerzed is able to bring that global experience that he has to the team and forge the team as it needs to be, you know, tweaked or whatever, right? Whereas going into the regionals, they were still playing as a regional team a little bit. So it's going to be interesting to see if that experience, if that influence is going to actually make them have a better time at PMGC.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to see. There's so many different roster changes, so much things happening right now, but it all comes down to this, guys. There's only 7 slots to be able to head towards the grand finals, and if you do not get there, oh man, it's going to be a tough battle in the group stage. We got 10 seconds left to go. These guys are getting locked and
10
loaded.
seconds.
We are headed into Erangel for the first time.
Start हो गया बे. Erangel. चलो. The Gauntlet. Phoenix. एपीजी भी उधर एपीजी और जीसी क्या नाम है मिलिट्री जा रहे हैं.
Got a feed again, Blank, and I think we're into Erangel. I don't know about you, but we'll see. I think we're all good. Okay, well, here we go. What's life without a little bit of thrill here as we get a little bit of a hot drop as well. Okay, down on the south side, GS and Alpha in C block. Gonna continue to scrap this one out. Let's see who's gonna get the better end of the stick here.
फाइट हो गई बे इनकी.
From Doc and actually finds an AKM. DBS though in the hands of D3S. That's going to be nasty. Fortunately, Doc's down as well. Alpha Gaming actually definitely on the back.
ड्रॉप फाइट ले लिए बे ये लोग तो.
Down the hall.
Yes. GS. Not a bad start for them. APG were fighting over this in the test matches as well. It's interesting to see this one.
ओजी फोर्थ पे है भाई, क्या बात है बे. चलो फिफ्थ पे आ गए भी.
Multiple times during scrims. Looks like it wasn't one to conclude too quickly. Both teams kind of were going back and forth on this. APG were winning a couple of times. GS were winning a couple of times themselves. So it really was undecided who would be able to take this one.
किचन साइड लिया बे.
Over towards Nova.
ओ ऐसे हमारा और ड्रॉप भी है उसी साइड.
Certainly a difficult scenario now for APG as well as GS. Who's going to be winning off the back of this one?
Oh, भाई साहब.
I mean, APG down to 3 players. GS still at 4. So the ball is in their court realistically.
No recall beacons for Doc this time around. Zjol biding his time. Reefus ticking up slowly.
अबे एपीजी के सिर्फ 2 खिलाड़ी बचे हुए अभी. नहीं, एक बचा, 3 बचे. एक पॉइंट उन्होंने भी लिया है.
Missteps a lot more costly here on Erangel, obviously taking that recall beacon away. Alpha 7 far flung from the thick of it right now over towards Lipovka, heading up towards the north. And given the circle, I think that's probably the right choice. The circle did pop all the way up to shooting range. Long road for these two teams. They need to conclude pretty soon if they want to get in with a chance of actually having a decent shot to the circle.
जीस.
Definitely long journey, and there's no recall beacon.
अबे ओजी को अपने ज्यादा दिखाया नहीं वे लोग, पता नहीं क्यों यार. अपनी टीम इंडिया को ज्यादा दिखा नहीं रहे भाई.
APG is kind of stuck here now too, because you can't really make the backstep over towards the hillside behind them. Very exposed. Once you move out that way, GS all they have to do is head over towards the roof and start taking shots. So APG sort of locked into this fight. It's a long journey of north as well.
वो उधर ही पीक लेके बैठा है भाई. व्योल पीक देके वहीं बैठा है भाई. उन तीनों को भी मालूम है कि इधर ही बैठा है. तो खुद को स्टन कर लिया उसने. अब नेट पुक करेगा. क्या ये निकाल पाएगा? नहीं, उनको लग नहीं रहा है. अबे ज़्योल हट जा, उधर से नेट आ रहा है. नहीं कर पाया. ओवर ज्यादा, थोड़ा सा कुक और होता ना तो वो था उधर. मॉली नहीं. दीवार पे लग गई मॉली. क्या पोजीशन लेके बैठा है भाई बंदा. नेड मॉली ले रहा है. अच्छा बैंडेजेस ले रहा है.
If GS want to keep dropping on them over towards military, then APG need to make it as.
भाई VP के 21 पॉइंट्स है भाई, और TT के 15.
Even if you take down one of us, we will remain, and we're going to make your lives very tough. Which is a stubborn approach, but I think APG and stubbornness go hand in hand.
यार आज गॉगल नहीं लेके आया मैं.
Yeah, I think that's.
It's the start of the tournament, so they got plenty of time to convince other teams not to come here.
पूरे रैंगल में अकेला घूम रहा है ये.
I mean, if they want to get up towards the top 7 in Gauntlet, which really is the ultimate goal of these teams here.
लैम्बर पोजीशन चेक करने जा रहा है मुझे लग रहा है.
A little bit further down the pipeline.
इधर खाली है कि नहीं?
In the next 3 days.
हाँ खाली है.
Erangel obviously a major feature of.
इधर मार रहा है.
50% of your matches played.
इधर कोई नहीं है.
The grassy pastures. Taking a look at the points right now, I mean R8 with 13, which is crazy on that first match, despite going down fairly early in the overall standings. I think it was 6th or 7th or something on the placements. Virtus Pro and Thunder Talk just a little bit ahead of that. And the fact that Alpha 7 got 9 in the end.
भाई क्या प्रेशर में होंगे भाई बंदे जो पहली बार खेल रहा होगा.
So-called hometown heroes right now. Certainly the only representative from the hometown in the Gauntlet stage. We'll be seeing Vampires in the finals as well. But E-Arena going to be moving alongside Kara.
Joker.
जाने दिया
watching
उसने
this
जो
unfold.
करने जाने दिया
They pass on by, which isn't great to be honest with you for E-Arena. I think I would have rather have got moving a little bit early with Kara taking a proactive approach there. It does set up a bit of a landmark that's going to block off E-Arena when they start to come through. VP also will be making
घुस गई एपीजी घुस गई भाई
towards the north
जीएस पे
side.
घुस गई एपीजी
Stalba likely APG
तो फाइट लेना ही
refresh
होगा इनको
towards GS.
Refus with the pump action. For gaming,
ओ ले लिया भाई एक को दो गए भाई जेज ने क्या ही कवर दिया उसको
It's getting turned around, it's getting traded off, it's chaos on the inside here, Blank, but Alpha Gaming managing to stand tall amongst it. The push back in has worked.
भाई पुश कर दे 1 HP है भाई बंदा
There's Jafar now, the last player to stand for GS. Spots Refus ducking down behind the box and has to head up the stairs instead to stay safe.
Oh, nice.
Blue zone is ticking away. It's slow, but it's there. The
Last
jump
है
out of Jafar into a 1 versus 1 now, and Alpha Gaming
Oh!
GS still.
वो जीजी यार क्या बात है यार
The bomb action through the window. He gives them the do-si-do.
एटलीस्ट भाई जीएस ने भाई बाहर ही कर दिया भाई
I mean, the
एपीजी ने
one
3
tap
पॉइंट
was
लिए लेकिन भाई
impressive. Coming through from Jafar.
भाई बंदे ने अच्छा दिमाग लगाया भाई
Granted, like you say, military base is theirs. You do go down. They do lose a lot for it though. Only 4 elims and only 2 players remaining off the back. Thunder Talk over towards the north side compound, just the west of Severny. I actually don't mind this position at all. Quite like it on our screens right now. A lot of capability for maneuvers later on, which is good stuff. It's just down towards the southwest side, where DRX is currently playing on the dead trees.
भाई प्लीज टीम इंडिया को एक बार दिखा दो भाई क्या कर रहे हो यार
They started at the
They have been cowed.
Well, fine. You know what? I mean, they sent there early, right? And they're going to have to...
वीपी अभी जोन में है
GK moving in on the east edge with Ulf. Just to their south, up in the hills, you can see the ridge lines, the trees, the terrain playing here will...
भाई क्या जा रहे भाई
Crucial.
अबे
As DRX look to regroup, Alpha 7 poking their noses in too, but Creo, he's turned...
फाइट होगी क्या
Spots too much danger for his liking. Waits
नहीं नहीं फाइट नहीं होगी
It's a good time for Alpha 7 to move. I mean, you said it started in Lipovka, moved over towards here. You're getting a lot of value off the back of this one with the circle moving over towards that western side. Geeky currently on our screens. Moving through the center of the circle, but no real position to stay right now.
फिलहाल तो अच्छी पोजीशन होल्ड करना है अभी और बाकी
Make that move from the western coast. They are on the south side. Kara is still posing a bit of a threat to them, being a little bit annoying. But Marcel having to swim here does give free reign now for
पारा स्विम करके जा रहा है भाई
push over towards that eastern side. Potentially even past the Xavier. Kind of like their split. 2 and 2 across the roadside.
पर क्या रहा है
Tucked in over towards the hillside on the east.
I'm confused about what Marceau's doing right now.
भाई वो पूरा ब्रिज पानी से तैर के जाने वाला है
Control of the bridge fully. He just fancied a swim. He wanted to go back to the last game. He was like, "Oh, we went in the final circle. I want to be in there." Nah, just get on to North
पे
Georgia.
4 बंदे यहाँ ओपन में लेटे हैं भाई
They are slap bang center, but they're in a bit of a divot here with a lot of oversight from on the surrounds. It's going to be difficult to move away from
जीएस के 2 बंदे खत्म हो गए
very
भाई
central, which is the big
लेकिन
positive
जीएस ने
from
पॉइंट्स
that
अच्छे
side.
निकाल लिए भाई
They'll be able to play on from there. The DXAvia 2-2 split to their south flank as well is a big threat to them, but could be a bit difficult for DXAvia to hold. We'll see if they have more success than they did against Thunder Talk from the last match.
Yeah, honestly, I was quite. I loved the Thunder Talk gameplay from that last match, and I think that it is definitely difficult to deal with a team that is very coordinated like that. I want to see more from them. I mean, 15 points already is a really, really good start, and for Thunder Talks to get into that top 7 will be a big boon for their region. Alpha 7 starting to cross from that field on the western side. but still really difficult to determine where you want to play on this circle. It's not amazing spots all around. I think even moving down this way, you're very, very tough to find decent spots to play now. I think a lot of
Oh,
teams
wide
are
away.
over towards that western side, trying
TT.
to play the east edge of Georgia Pole.
क्या
But
कवर दिया भाई,
though,
लेकिन दोनों को ले गया भाई.
talks once again, like you said, sighting does go down, but for their troubles, they're at least able to find one.
They're able to get. Oh, Virtus Pro able to claim a point there. Thunder Talk not so lucky, and IQ
Oh.
tagging onto the back as well. King going down.
बग्गी लड़की इसकी पेड़
Flushed
में.
out. Gonna be real tricky to make that one work. Rectum Kaya holding their central.
ओजी ने 1 पॉइंट लिया भाई, ओजी ने 1 पॉइंट लिया.
Sorry, they're not holding. They sent all the way down to the south coast. Goodness me. Okay, a big rotate coming through in the midst of it. They give up the position a bit further up the hill and instead take control of the roadsides blank, which slither through the middle of this next circle. A lot of control for Regnum Kaya still.
टीटी के 2 प्लेयर्स डाउन खत्म हो गए भाई.
Talk too much about Regnum Kaya other than that initial push from last game, but definitely a team that we are expecting big things from in the future, and already a very, very good position on this map to play around with across the roadside. It is going to require a little bit of gusto from them to hold on to this spot, but I think that Regnum Kaya can make it happen. R8 currently playing box, which is not a bad position at all. I think for E Arena, it looks better than it actually is. Over on this south side, it's going to be kind of tough to move across that open ground, even past all four DX Xavier, Wolves even holding on that north side. So I think for E Arena, they may struggle slightly.
क्या उतारेगा? हाँ, DRX है भाई वो.
The spray downs looks successful for now. Kara moving in from that western side, slowly moving through North George. Marso did finally get toweled off after his swim under the
कारा को
jungle
पड़ी.
bridge.
भाई कारा अकेले.
Further east with Virtus Pro and Alpha
अकेले
7.
बंदो नहीं नहीं है,
May
टीम है,
go.
इसकी टीम है, इसकी टीम है.
That is going to be tricky, and the blue zone is starting to hurt now into stage 3, closing in 39 seconds to stage 4.
भाई इधर जितने लोग भी देख रहे हो एक बार लाइक कर दो मेरी चैनल लोग, ठीक है भाई को सब्सक्राइब मार लो. अपन डेली करेंगे जब तक अपना चैनल ये वाला सेफ रहेगा. अदरवाइज सेफ नहीं रहेगा तो अपन दूसरा चैनल बनाएंगे, दूसरे पे करेंगे, लेकिन इस बार अपन वॉच पार्टी करके रहेंगे, ठीक है. मैंने ईमेल कर करके मैं थक गया हूँ ई स्पोर्ट्स वालों को, बट उन्होंने मेरे को अभी आज तक रिप्लाई नहीं किया. बीजीआईएस का भी अपन करेंगे, ठीक है. ग्रैंड फाइनल तक का कर डालेंगे अपन. आप लोग लाइक मार दो, चैट में आगो. किसका सपोर्ट मार रहे हो भाई तुम लोग?
Next move, right? What's the next step here? How do we move Knight from here? Because I think that they're likely not taking a win back of this one, and it is more checkmate on their side of things right now. Regnum Kaya pushing over towards the bridge. Actually, unironically, a very good position. Looks bad. Is pretty good.
Yeah, right now it is brilliant cover, brilliant hard cover. The downside is that R8 are sort of just around the corner. Could be difficult if nades start to pour on through. In the meantime, this northwest side is getting treacherous. DRX moving on through, and Alpha 7 clashing with them. They stayed back from the fight for quite a while. They moved all the way out to Zaki on a wide rack.
ओजी 10 पॉइंट के साथ अभी 5वें नंबर पे है, ठीक है.
Towards the circle. Kara spreading out, and
अबे ओजी एक नॉक हो गया भाई.
a difficult obstacle, and obscure going down means DRX are starting to turn the
ओजी की फाइट ही नहीं दिखा रहे ना भाई, देख रहे हो.
really not too much damage.
अभी एक खत्म हो गया भाई, दोनों खत्म हो गए.
That's one way to do
नहीं
it.
नहीं नहीं,
is if you can't
ये
quite see
A7
the
का है.
target, you just blindly spray through the smoke and typically gets the job done. I think for Kara, they're so far on the outside.
हाँ जो क्या बोलूं मैं अभी.
Time for this.
ओजी है अभी सेफ है अपनी ओजी.
DRX still trying to put the pain on over towards Alpha 7. Grease out, moving off in the distance. Tanky gets taken down. Quick jump into the vehicle.
अबे यार ओजी का एक डाउन हो गया भाई.
I do think for Regnum Kari, it's not actually that bad between them and R8 because
ओजी का एक पूरा खत्म है भाई.
right now at least I think the chances that R8 leaves
भाई ओजी की फाइट ही नहीं दिखा रहे. क्या बोलूं मैं.
windows right here to take shots or nades down towards Regnum Kari, very slim.
अबे उन पे ग्रीक ने डायरेक्ट
actually working
What?
pretty well in tandem with R8.
Ooh, Ragnarok. Doing a lot of work for Geeke there as well on that northeast side. IQ cut down. Still going with a little bit more gas in the tank.
AQ पिकअप
Imagine that they
पीछा
got
कर रहे भाई.
for orangutan. It is
नहीं
going
आरू
to
है.
be a difficult
मोहन आरू.
now with one player left. Marso's in as well.
पानी में डाल दिया उसने गाड़ी.
From across the way. I think that's Thunder Talk. I think that may be
अबे लॉक्सी उधरी है.
south side that they've managed to
क्या कर रहे?
post with. Loxy, I mean, he spotted this cross.
और लॉक्सी नॉक है.
Oh, a nice little pick up there. A little bit too bold from Loxy, in fact, there. As R8 spot him on an off angle.
I don't really know why he pushed out so far. He wants to take down the struggler there from Orangutan, but it's not meant to be. Dick Xavier, do you
सिर्फ एक पॉइंट लिए भाई ये मैच.
Only 4 elims this game. Be taken down. Virtus Pro currently playing on the bridge alongside on that western edge, but Ulf has something to say about Aaron here. This team's actually really quite strong. I think that we haven't seen all that much out of Ulf recently, but Aaron does get clipped.
भाई मैं क्या बोलूँ
Like you say, in stage 4 here will start to hurt quite a bit more than a zap, more like a proper taser on that side of things.
Yeah, he gets flushed out as well. Couldn't quite make it. Couldn't quite make the run. Ulf now a player down.
आरू पानी से बाहर निकलेगा. लेकिन ये भाई बंदा हर बार अपने बंदे हर बार जोन प्रेडिक्शन बहुत तगड़ी मार रहे भाई, समझ रहे हो?
A bit of potential here, and they were able to a lot of that area and play that ridge line potentially further towards the south. This could be a pretty solid spot moving forwards for DXavier. His lead that is going to be difficult. No one really tested on the north, so maybe that's going to give them an opening.
अबे तुम सबका आवाज नहीं आ रहा है भाई.
It's nice the circle does come over from the south and heads up. And DXavier do have a fairly strong.
अभी एक और जीसी का फिर फाइट हो गया है.
Even they're trying to remove GS.
पुश डाल दिया बे इन्होंने.
GS3 on the backside.
पुश डाल दिया.
They're being very vigilant clearing this one out, by the way.
एक नॉक डाला.
I mean, they have to be.
भाई वो एक एचपी है.
Towards that north side. Two good grenades.
भाई जीएस का दूसरा बंदा कहाँ जा रहा है वो? उसको अकेला छोड़ के.
Crawling back to Sacramento.
ओ भाई ये नॉक हो गया. खत्म.
Gets that knock and almost immediately gets the flush there. Well, nicely found. Sakura gets that res, and E-Arena playing on now as 4, but they have to move up to the coastline here and into the way.
भाई रॉक्सी रिवाइव हो गया भाई.
Of Regnum Kaya. Mormon makes first approach and will get immediately backed off the angle. I think Marso's chiming in there as well.
भाई टीम मुझे यार हमेशा ऐसे में फंस जाती है यार. जो आसपास हमेशा 2-3 स्पॉट रहती है, घिर जाती है भाई.
If they can regroup on Mormon, sure, but I'll have to wait and see. Like you say, it's a tough rotate for them to make. Wolves now wrapping on DXavier on that northwest side.
अभी भी 30 बंदे रिमेन है भाई, 11 टीमें हैं.
Hold them off down the line of shields.
आरू को कोई स्पॉट नहीं कर पा रहा है क्या? आरू को कोई स्पॉट नहीं कर पा रहा है भाई.
Honestly, an airburst might have done the.
ओ दोनों के भाई.
With the double, fantastic stuff. Zed Wolves goes a little bit too high, but Silas really.
एक बंदा भाई देख इनका, अगर ये इसने रश डाला ना, एक बंदा इनका एकदम एडीएस पे बैठा है. एक बंदा इनका बिल्कुल एडीएस पे बैठा है.
One of the longest standing veterans of the PUBG mobile scene on the global stage. No one really has more experience than him.
भाई अगर ठप्पा दे दे और उसको ठप्पा दे दे तो इधर ही 5-6-7 किल निकाल ले भाई, तो मजा आ जाएगा भाई. कसम से बोल रहा हूँ. गाइस जो भी हो यार लाइक मार दो एक बार भाई को, ठीक है?
Good nade from Coops from up on high over towards DXavier. It's a good opening. And after that, instantly Doran's in as the front man from Romania. Very, very good stuff that he can bring to the table. Has always been a fantastic fragger, and now on a team that can really utilize his performance.
Two players for Wolves down. They managed to get an opening too, but that is not going to be enough there.
आरू मुझे लग रहा है अभी जब तक जोन वहां रहेगा तब तक वो हिलने वाला नहीं है भाई, समझ रहे हो? पोजीशन पॉइंट्स तो एटलीस्ट निकाल ही रहे वो बंदे।
And with Wolves being able to pick up those 3 elims, now GK are going to
वीपीपी वाइप हो गई, टीटी है, टीटी का लास्ट बंदा बचा, उनके ऑलरेडी 18 पॉइंट्स है। आर8 के चारों बंदे हैं भाई। ओ कनेक्शन उतना कुछ खास नहीं है। ओ निकाल दिया भाई। भाई 3 डाउन है भाई, इसके 3 डाउन है भाई, के 3 डाउन है। उसका भी लास्ट ही है। क्या ये रिवाइव देगा? वो नेड को क्या भाई उसने घुसना था ना। घुस जा ले ले। अच्छा अच्छा दीवार के पीछे। पॉइंट ले लिया इसने। कूद गया वो। कनेक्शन नहीं बन पा रहे भाई, कनेक्शन नहीं बन पा रहे। वो भाई गीक ने मार दिया भाई। नाइस बे, तीनों को बचा लिया भाई, लेकिन गीक रैग्नारॉक नहीं बच पाएगा। दो प्लेयर्स नहीं बच पाएंगे भाई इनके।
Very slow to be able to get out of this position as well. It's going to make their approach really tough. They're playing now as 2 players on that northern side. Regnum Kaya still in a great spot, and RA as well, having a second really strong game to open the tournament.
आरू कार में बैठा है भाई, आरू कार में बैठा है।
Well, again, I said it was unsurprising. I think they're a team that's improved a lot.
भाई आरू कार में बैठा है भाई।
And they have remained steadfast between one another, so
they
deserve all the prestige that they're requiring throughout this gauntlet. Good shot from Marth over towards Saf as he attempts to leave that position.
एक नॉक निकलेगा आई थिंक इधर।
vehicle there.
गीक निकाल रहा है। कनेक्शन पर उतने कुछ खास नहीं मिल पाए।
Eyes that way too. Doesn't quite have his number though.
Not quite on the bead fully, unfortunately. Kevin gets a little bit further forwards. R8 regroup back down to the compound that they've held for a while now and continue their solid hold on the riverbank. Circle definitely north leaning, but Regnum Kai have been holding this 2-2 split for a while. They like these river splits. They've played quite significantly on them in these sorts of situations.
भाई अगर यहाँ से टीटी ने चिकन निकाला ना तो डायरेक्ट 28 पॉइंट्स होंगे और किल्स तो उनका अलग ही होगा।
Still alive for E-Arena. Tony K as well.
1 2 3 4 5 6 खिलाड़ी और 6 टीम और बची है। और आरू अभी भी जोन में है भाई, क्या बात है भाई यार।
The West still has a lot of water in this one as well, so getting flashbacks over towards Rondo now. Rondo talks with their singular player looking to pump the placement points a little bit with their 18 from their last game. Very obvious someone's in here.
गीक बच गया भाई, लास्ट एक एचपी बची है उसके। कार फोड़ रहा है उसकी।
Despite asking multiple times, Prestige
4 एलिमिनेशन निकाले भाई
pick him up.
आरबी ने।
As the circle moves further towards that western side, Regnum Kaya get more and more of the advantage here. But I think that both Silas as well as Zedwolf know they need to have a very
hashtag फायर तो आएगा ही
because this is the position that's going to allow them to take on R8 when they do eventually.
यहाँ से भाई अगर आरू ने 4 पॉइंट 5 पॉइंट भी निकाला ना,
that's what Silas as well as Zedwolf.
अबे उसको देख लिया, अबे आरू को देख लिया भाई।
Orangutan, last player in the drink, been hiding out for a while, almost cost Loxy his life to try and pick that point up. See how much longer they can survive. R8 making that western push, the real big maneuver that has to happen here. The question is when. The question is what do they need to get in place?
जोन जाना है, तो जोन पकड़ना है भाई।
Go for this push.
हट जाओ तुम यहाँ से, जोन जाओ तुम जोन जाओ यहाँ से जोन जाओ।
Regroup onto the tower and go from there. Regnum Kaya yet to really fully chime in with force. AJ being a bit of a thorn in the side here. You see, I think as soon as AJ goes down, if Zedwolf can find those shots with the Mini 14,
मेरे को लग रहा है आरू का किल निकालना चाह रहे हैं
That's
बंदे।
where you can really start to leverage this.
निकल गए। ओ भाई क्या बात है, क्या उतारा भाई बंदे।
All right, moving out, but Wild immediately finds the first shots on that one, which is a good pickup. Looking behind him as well. I mean,
क्या
very
आरू वहां से
good
निकलेगा?
awareness on this one, but minimal ammo to work with. No nades.
नहीं, आरू अभी वहीं है।
Basically here, Orangutan still holding strong. RA just about get themselves in a position to start sending nades, but Wild evades every single one of them. M79 out of the smokes now as E-Arena looks to move across. How is he not down? Goodness me.
ओ
Takes a lot of
ये
damage.
एलिमिनेट हो गया।
And it is going to be maintained on that
1 2
south
3
edge.
4
Rectum
4
Fire
टीमें और
playing
बची है।
with 2 on that south side. Don't go down as well. A knock there would have been really
सारी
nasty
टीमें
for
यही
them,
हैं।
but they keep it going. Loxy.
एजे निकल रहा है भाई जोन की तरफ।
Close to Prestige. Orangutan still just with their solo representative as well.
भाई लॉक्सी कहाँ लेटा है?
On the off angle.
लॉक्सी ले सकता है भाई।
Playing down in the dark. Wild somehow doesn't go down to that nade. Felt like it went off right in his ear. And Prestige strikes out towards the south side. And Silas is going to fall. Zed Wolf now needs to pick him back up as
ओ लॉक्सी तुझे जाना था ना भाई।
Spots two and clocks the shot. Able to take down Loxy. Rectum Kaya faltering on their hold now. They play too timid, Blank. They haven't been able to do what they wanted here.
Good nade, bhai, good nade, good nade.
Another nade. And there's Amori finding the shots onto Silas.
Nice, nice.
We'll give it a good go, but it's not going to be enough. Falls out.
भाई अब चांस, लेकिन भाई आरबी के चारों बंदे जिंदा है भाई।
I can't believe Redham Kaya loses there. I mean, they did
आरबी के
everything they
चारों
needed
बंदे
to do,
जिंदा है
just
भाई।
to take out E-Arena, clear some space on that side, and then push over towards RA. But RA have really been putting on a clinic during this game. Very fantastic play from inside of box compound, never straying too far away from their safety. When it came down to it, this has been a really good hold in terms of playing from one position.
Oh, nice यार, GG.
Moff, oh my goodness me! I think he'll give his life for it, but you don't really care.
अरे यार।
Oh my goodness me, what a stylish way to close that down. R8, they were
R8
on the
नीचे करने का
warpath of Rondo and they wanted more. A bigger slice of the PMGC pie. That is a massive game for R8. They held the box compound
#2i.
and nobody could deal with it.
That is some silly stuff. I mean, I think I've seen Moff do that twice this game, by the way. But you don't expect it in those final moments. You really do not expect it in these final moments. What a way to finish the game. And Orangutan, once again, gets some decent placement points.
अच्छा निकाला भाई। पोजीशन पॉइंट बहुत तगड़े निकाले बंदे ने, बहुत बढ़िया। R8 Esports। भाई शूट के लिए बुलाते हैं, ये शूट के लिए बुलाते हैं भाई।
Putting Mina on the map right there. That is what I'm talking about. That finish, by the way. Oh my gosh. Marth onto AJ. That was one of the most disgusting ways to end a match. These guys are not messing around here, Max.
I can just hear Marth on that push, just like, YOLO! Just
Got him!
like, let's send it.
Got
Let's
him!
try and get that. And it actually worked out. They get rid of AJ. They're like, wait, there's still someone alive. And it was Aru from Orangutan. But R8, given a free tick into the late game by playing box compound, they were able to hold on to their resources. But the flex out at the late game, Niptura, that we were super hype about, of Amori to get the Regnum Karya. R8 coming out swinging here in PMGC in the first 2 games alone. I'm
nice.
genuinely so impressed.
Yeah, I'm so impressed with them as well. I love that Regnum played that really well. 2-2 split either side of the river. They were going against 2 different teams at the same time to minimize both of those teams' control. But Amori was like, not on my watch, bro. Going around to the north side, getting that angle and just demolishing Regnum after that really set the tone for the game. And they were just able to just bulldoze through that after all.
Dude, R8, I mean, starting off strong in Rondo. They had 5 elims to start things off and then just would continue to put up points. They win the second game. They are off to the best start they could possibly ask for, right? Now, speaking of starts, Max, man, you know, This match started exactly as we thought it was, right? What a ridiculous fight once again, right? We just see APG, right? Just going at it with GS right off the rip in military. What do you think about that, Max?
You're trying to make me angry right now, Hodrux, because it's working. Just to tell you, it is definitely working.
It's crazy.
Yeah, GS versus APG, it's an ego fight we're seeing between these two teams. It's completely unnecessary. We talked about it. Military Island, it's big enough.
भाई इन्होंने क्या मारा भाई.
Look, in comparison, you can look at GK, right? They don't fight in Novo.
Yep.
They're instantly in the circle, going for great third party onto Wolves and Xavier on the northern position. And then you have GST
तीन दो दो
fighting clutch after
तीन
clutch.
दो
Really
पाँच
good fight from Jafar at the end, by the way, but completely unnecessary. But you know what?
तीन
I
आठ
want to talk about something
आठ
that
दस
makes me
अठारह.
happy, and it's this R8 win. You know that I can talk
Yeah.
about positively because Amori, the off angle, sure, maybe it doesn't show itself through his elims. He only got one, but the angles were so impactful for them to wrap up this chicken dinner.
Yeah, it's the damage that really makes this and the knockouts as well. And also look at Marth. It's very similar to what we saw in the last game as well, right? 67 damage taken for 894 damage is insane. So I wouldn't doubt that we're gonna see him MVP.
Oh yeah, I mean that'd be good to see here. But yep, look,
no.
this is what we love to see right here. Oh my gosh! At first we thought that Top
Bruh.
was clutching it up with that double shotgun, right?
Woo.
And then Jafar just cleaning it up right there. You can just see the frustration and talk amongst all these players here, Max.
Okay, genuine question for you guys. Are they
Okay.
going to
Yes.
stop the hot drop? What are we thinking?
No.
Oh,
I agree.
Not out of
Unfortunately,
that.
I agree. They're going to keep doing it, right?
Yeah.
It just seems like something APG would do, and GS team are like, why not? That's their reasoning, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Why?
Who cares about the
Oh,
grand
hard-
finals? You know what I'm saying? Who cares, dude? You know, we still got group
Yeah.
stage. It's not like we're out of the tournament, right? Right?
हाँ
What do
यार,
you think?
एक बंदे को नहीं ले पाया यार.
I think that's what they're going for, or what that's the vibe right now. But that's definitely not the way of
थोड़ा
playing.
पैनिक सिचुएशन हो जाती है गाइस, समझ रहे हो ना?
Before matches
थोड़ा पैनिक
especially,
सिचुएशन
right?
हो जाती
We've
है.
been saying, hey, if they don't make it, if the teams that don't make it to Gauntlet, they're gonna have an extra hard time making it to finals through the group stage. You've got to be in that top 7 for the best chance, and it seems like both these teams are kind of throwing that already.
Yeah, looking at these replays though, big highlight on Marth, not only for that final send onto AJ with the card that was just like an absolutely crazy clutch at the end, but also how he was able to just peek over the rocks to make sure there wasn't just a solo straggler around there, and they do find that one solo of Regnum and just eliminate him. That could have been a big issue as you go back over the entirety of this game. I love this graphic, by the way. I got to say, production. Love
So
this.
much.
I want to see more of this kind of graphics.
Mwah.
I'm looking at, in particular, R8, the winning team of this match, holding on to George Paul, moving into crates, actively scouting the entirety of the early stage, and they see this circle instantly. Where do you want to go? In a position next to the river, and they send it instantly in that spot, which not only facilitates transition in case of a bad circle shift, but it also allows you to just zone teams away from you, which allows them to instantly have an easy access into the late game with cars to move up and just clean up the entirety of the lobby.
Beautifully done. I mean, that's such a great position too, because for some reason
पोजीशन अच्छी निकाल ली थी भाई R8 वालों ने.
You were right there, right? You control the bridge, you could gatekeep and get points, or just head back to a position. So I mean, R8 not hesitating there. I think
R8 वालों ने अच्छी पोजीशन निकाली थी भाई, बहुत तगड़ी पोजीशन, और जोन भी उन पे ही बन रहा था बार बार. जोन प्रेडिक्शन बहुत तगड़ी निकाली भाई उन्होंने. बट भाई अपनी ओजी ने अच्छा #2 निकाला, बहुत सेक्सी था भाई, मजा आ गया भाई. गाइस जितने लोग भी आए हो मेरी जान, डबल टैप, अरे डबल टैप तो होगा नहीं, लाइक कर देना यार, और भाई को सब्सक्राइब मार लेना.
Look at that. 20 points for R8. These guys are feeling great right here. Tons of great fights in this one, too. As a matter of fact, we look a little bit down on the leaderboards there, right? We saw the Wolves, right? They had a great push onto D Xavier. I was honestly shocked that we saw GK push all the way out there and actually make that third party, Max. What do you think about that fight?
प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट 6 है अपने ओजी का.
I think it was actually a 250, 300 meter third party from a distance between Wolves and Xavier. It's like, well, I got an easy angle there.
#5 है भाई, #5 है अपनी टीम. टीम इंडिया #5 है गाइस. चलो बहुत है भाई, निकलेगा. अभी 3 मैचेस बाकी है बे, अभी 3 मैचेस बाकी है बे, कुछ भी हो सकता है. क्या पता चिकन निकाल ले तीनों में, मजा आ जाएगा भाई. क्या बोलते हो गाइस, क्या चिकन आएगा आज? क्या चिकन आएगा आज बताओ.
Well, I want to see more of that last play that we saw from Marth. Oh my goodness. If you guys could, we were in the back, right? And when I saw that zone shift, there. I thought we were going to see AJ possibly clean things up, make a crazy last stand fight. But then Mark just said, nah, you're out of here, dude, right? Just driving up the vehicle, backseating himself, and going to the blue, right, Neptura? Like, literally, if he did not hit those shots...
ओजी फोर्थ पे भाई, ओजी फोर्थ पे बे.
Yeah, it was insane. I mean, it's one of those things where it's
16 पॉइंट से फोर्थ पे. चलो बहुत बढ़िया पोजीशन है. लेकिन बे आरेक ने ये मैच में 20 पॉइंट निकाले भाई. 33 पॉइंट्स पे चले गए वे लोग. 33 पॉइंट्स पे चले गए दूसरे मैच में भाई. टॉप 7 आना है भाई अपने को, ठीक है, बस टॉप 7 आना है. बाकी और रैंक 10 पे है गाइस. और गाइस जो लोग भी देख रहे हैं मेरी जान यार लाइक कर देना और भाई को सब्सक्राइब मार लेना, ठीक है.
Or just try and survive as a solo, get some placement points, and so far it is successful for those teams.
And the consistency is all about, right? Especially when you don't get that opportunity to have a game, right? You got to put something on the board, and Orangutan are doing just that here in Nepturo.
Yeah, they really are, and it's all about that momentum, right?
गाइस लाइक नहीं हो रहे बे, लाइक नहीं हो रहे. क्या कर रहे हो तुम लोग?
Exactly how you want to play, even though the zone is against you.
क्या कर रहे हो? 3-4 लोग देख रहे हो, क्यों नहीं लाइक कर रहे हो? अपने दोस्तों को भी शेयर मारो, ठीक है.
Really nice that they're like, listen, we're gonna scrap what we've done. We're just gonna go solo again. It's fine. Get a top 4, get a top 3. We've got those podium finishes under our belts now. So that when a zone actually comes that we want to play and we can play the way we want to, we have that at our back to go, yeah, we got this, we can do this.
मैच स्टार्ट होने वाला है गाइस, कुछ देर में मैच स्टार्ट होगा. समझ रहे हो?
A couple games so far. You know, one team in particular, right, that we're seeing all the way down the leaderboards that I didn't really think we were going to see too much, right? It's got to be APG Max, right? So I know that we're probably going to continue to see these hot drops because they're just that stubborn.
Yeah.
But like at this point, like with them so far down the leaderboards, do you think there's a possibility of them changing things up?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh my.
APG, they're just going to keep going with what they're currently doing. I wish they wouldn't, Hodrix, to be completely honest with you. I wish they would be like...
लेकिन भाई ओजी को दिखाते नहीं भाई, एक बार भी ओजी को नहीं दिखाते. पता नहीं क्या प्रॉब्लम है इनको टीम इंडिया से भाई. ये चीज के लिए भाई मेरे को रिग्रेट है. क्या बोलूं अब भाई, ओजी को दिखाना चाहिए भाई. अपनी टीम इंडिया दिखा ही नहीं रहे बंदे. मैं तो बोलता हूँ भाई इनके ऑफिशियल चैनल पे जाके तो अभी मैं वो करने वाला हूँ भाई, शो टीम इंडिया.
Yeah, it has been odd, I think, but I think that's kind of the way they will want to play this. It's been slow, but maybe just, you know, we've had 2 really tough zones. Maybe that's really what's coming into play here. They tend to rotate quite slowly. They tend to, you know, play center, but then they've got large splits, and maybe with these big hard shifts that we're seeing, both the slow timing and those big splits, they're just not working in their favor.
Yeah. You know, the good thing is here, though, with the Gauntlet is that it's top 7, right? So top 7 move to the finals. And at the end of the day, we're going to see a whole bunch of teams go on over to the group stage that don't make it, right? So it gives teams, I think, a little bit of more room for error, right? To be able to have a couple, you know, games to kind of adjust and kind of get things to happen. But at the same time, I mean, we're seeing squads move at a pace so fast here, Neptura, right? I think that if you let one of these squads, even a team like R8, get a lead, I think it's going to be tough for them to lose it.
Yeah, this is where you've got to be so adaptable, right? You got to tweak things in
so competitive, and it is the toughest lobby. But still, this is your best opportunity to reach the finals.
Third match start होने वाला.
Game here.
Yeah. And the good thing is, like I said, it's top 7, so you got to. It's not like we're only having 2 slots where you have to have absolute perfection, right? If you're able to get 6th or 7th, you're going to be screaming for joy, right? But I like that point that you made, Max. And we got a little bit of time to talk here. So how about this? Okay, Neptura, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Max was talking about how there's some squads that need to perform here because if they don't make it in the top 7 now, they're probably gonna not make it to the grand finals, right? So which teams in particular do you think are really in the hot seat, right? Which squads do you want to see make it in the top 7 and are possibly not going to make it in the grand finals if they don't make it to that top 7 here now?
Okay, I've got a really hot take, and I'm slightly scared. I think A7.
Oh wow!
A7.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't make it. They didn't make it to in the World Cup, right? They didn't make it past the survival stage.
Exactly. Exactly. I think the longer they have to fight against more and more teams, the more pressure they put on themselves, I think the worse they're going to do. They need to come out super strong with no pressure, top 7, easy peasy, knock it out of the park, go to finals. I think if they go the other direction, it's not going to look good.
What do you think about that, Max?
Alpha 7's a pick and a half, but I could see it happening. Alpha 7 are the team that, or you get the best team in the world that can win PMWC, or you get a team that unfortunately can't even reach the PMWC finals. So it's a bit random what you get sometimes. I feel like you spin a wheel at the start of the tournament for Alpha 7, and that's the team you're going to get
for sure.
in the entirety of the event. But if I had to go for one team, I think is going to be a big upset here moving forward. Oh, it's a tough one, man. This lobby's really stacked.
It's so stacked.
I do think Alpha Gaming would be the one to just fail in the Gauntlet and then just dominate in the harder stages where you need to be top 3 or top 2 in groups all last chance. So APG strike me as the one that's not going to make it.
Ooh,
that's I wouldn't say that's a bad take, only considering that they're hot dropping so hard, right? In military. I mean, that's the part that just kind of like, it's a big asterisk for me, right? Because I mean, we know what this team's capable of. Their roster is absolutely stacked to the teeth, right? So to see them hot dropping like this, if they don't make it here and now, right, and they go to the group stage, that is just going to tell every other team that this squad's predictable, right? That, you know what, they're hard-headed, they're not going to leave, they're not going to adapt. And when you have that advantage over so many other squads, Neptura, I mean, these guys are using any data piece they can to take an advantage, right? So if if they know that Alpha are not going to move, right, Alpha Gaming, then I think that's a huge advantage. What do you think?
Well, of course, especially when you think about APG being one of those top teams. I mean, they are one of the top teams in the world. They are, in my opinion, one of the scariest teams to go up against because they're aggressive, they're opportunistic, they're unpredictable. You don't know which side they're going to come from, how many there's going to be, and what angles they're going to take. So if you can find the one predictable thing about them, you're going to take advantage of that. You're going to change your strategy or tweak it or do something to try and knock them as far down as possible, because once that gets to the later stages, you're going to have a real problem with them. So for sure, they need to be able to be adaptable so that they have that power over teams, so they still have that fear factor, because they might just start to lose it otherwise.
No, I fully agree. But you know what? We have a little bit of time before this game starts here. Hot Juice, I know we have time to ask you a question. Which team do you think is not going to reach the finals based on, who are the favorites right now?
Oh, okay. Let's see. Honestly, I'm going to go with my team, the Wolves. Right? I love this squad.
होगा भाई मैं तुम लोग टेंशन क्या ले रहे हो?
This Wolves team, it has been given myself,
Team India,
I think everybody, the highest hopes for an NA team we have seen in years, right? So when it comes to the squad, I am so confident in their abilities. We saw that wonderful push that we just saw a little bit earlier onto D Xavier of all teams, right? And they win that fight, okay? At the same time, just knowing the whole logistics of what's going to be happening in the group stage with only so few spots available, I think you're leaving it to chance, right? I think Wolves are a good enough team to definitely make it to the grand finals. I just think that their percentage chance drops like down to 10% if they're going into the group stage. So I think for Wolves, I really want to see them clutch one of those 7 slots here. I mean, it's top 7 with how they're performing so far and how they're looking. I'm confident they're going to do that. So if for some reason they don't max, oh man, it's going to put me on the back. My hope's never going to die, okay? But I want to see it. You know what I'm saying?
A full-on support of NA, also known as near the airport. Maybe that'll be after this one. But
Whoa!
but looking at Wolves, actually, I was really happy, and you covered PMSL Americas, right, Hot Jukes? Looking at how they played around the whole Gauntlet point system and rule set, I think it was so well executed. I feel like this team, and I think we talked about it a bit yesterday also during the rehearsal and scrims, if Wolves have a good day one, which as of right now, you know, topsy-turvy, fair to say, if they do have a good head start day one today in these 6 matches, I do believe they will be able to make it top 7 at the end of the Gauntlet because they play around the rule set so well that they know how to slow down or accelerate based on their position on the rankings and how far they are in the tournament. And I feel like that level of adaptation is very important in the qualification stage in particular. So I do get your point again with Wolves, Hot Jukes 100%, but I feel like today we can instantly tell if they have what it takes to be in the top 7 and go to the finals, or unfortunately, if they are going to be making it into the group stage.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, with just that push on the D Xavier, it just showed me that, hey, you know what? These guys are not messing around, right? Because any team could have easily just sat back.
मैं आ गया अरे आ जाओ भाई आ जाओ
And then we'll make a move from there. They didn't hesitate before the circle popped, and they pushed on a D Xavier and won that fight. So for me, I'm like, for sure, I'm confident this team's gonna make it into the grand finals here and now. So seeing that, for some reason, if they don't make it into top 7, that means something went horrific.
क्या पोजीशन थी सेकंड मैच में #2 आए थे भाई #2 आए थे
They're getting caught in bad decisions or something like that, and that's what I don't want to see Neptura here. So that's the reason why for Wolves, I don't even want to even think when it comes to group stage. I just want to see them in the finals here now.
Yeah, and this is the thing that's so difficult, right? Especially for Wolves. I mean, yes, they've got individually a lot of global experience, but at the same time, they're a relatively new team to global. Let's just, put it that way, right? And I think that is the problem.
हाँ भाई बढ़िया तो है यार.
Concern we might have is like strategy-wise, really good team. They're holding their own. They've got those smart plays, like you said. They're doing their thing. The thing is that they have one bad day or a few bad games. I don't know how they would react to that. I don't know if they go, it just affects their mental way too much, and they go, okay, we're done, or if they're able to actually do something about it.
अभी तो ऐड वैड आ रहा है बे कमिंग सून बे, कमिंग सून है अभी इनका। मीडियाटेक डी। अभी आएगा तो मैं स्ट्रीम स्टार्ट करता हूँ बे। ओ भाई। भाई कैसा है न्यू अकाउंट? हाँ न्यू है बे। तू क्या हाल है तेरे, तू बता। हाँ वॉच पार्टी कर नहीं सकता ना उस पे। वो वाले उस पे वॉच पार्टी नहीं कर सकता ना भाई। उस पे करूंगा तो क्या पता चैनल ही डिलीट हो जावे। इसके लिए थोड़ा रिस्क है तो इस पे कर लिया। तू बता क्या हाल है तेरे। क्या यार आया नहीं? अबे कल ना मैं आया था बट कोई आया ही नहीं। फिर देखा तू भी गेम में है तो इसके लिए मैं चला गया बे। मैं चला गया सोने, समझा। और मूड भी नहीं कर रहा था मेरा खेलने का। बहुत एनर्जी वगैरह लॉस हो लग रहा था मेरे को। इसके लिए मैं खेला नहीं। बस चल रहा है। अबे चल क्या रहा है? ये सही है। ये पोजीशन सही है। वाह। थोड़ा दाढ़ी वाड़ी बनवाना पड़ेगा बे। देख एकदम काला लग रहा हूँ। और बता क्या चल रहा है? अपने दोस्त लोग को भी शेयर मार दे बे। अभी स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ बे, ये वाला तीसरा वाला मैच स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ अभी। दो मैच में तो ओजी #4 पे है। देखते हैं। 4 मिनट में मैच स्टार्ट होएगा गाइस, 4 मिनट में। तब तक के लिए ऐसे ही बातचीत करते हैं। अपना ओजी कब आया था? बस चल रहा है। कब आया था? अबे आया था मैं बे। आया था बट क्या नाम है, थोड़ा सा लोचा हो गया था। फिर मैं नहीं आया। अब क्या कर रहा है तो बता, खाना वाना खाया कि नहीं? 4 मिनट बाद दूसरा मैच स्टार्ट हो जाएगा ओजी का। अबे बट ये पता है तौहीद यार, एक चीज बहुत गड़बड़ है भाई, अपनी टीम इंडिया को ना दिखाते ही नहीं भाई दादा। पता नहीं क्या सीन है यार। बहुत गलत है बे। टीम इंडिया को ज्यादा दिखा ही नहीं रहे। समझ रहे हैं ना, इसके लिए अपने को जम नहीं रहा है बे। हाँ भाई गाइस यार जितने लोग भी आए मेरी जान एक बार लाइक मार दो ठीक है। लाइक कर दो फिर अपन देखते हैं। अभी मैच 4 मिनट बाद ही स्टार्ट होगा। मैच अभी 4 मिनट बाद स्टार्ट होगा। अब कितना 3 मिनट 16 सेकंड बचा है। ये साले मेरे को कॉपीराइट ना दे दे हुए बस। कॉपीराइट आया ना तो मैं तो मर गया गाइस समझ रहे हो। मैं स्नैक्स भाई से पूछा तो बोलते हैं कि अगर तू करेगा तो यू कॉपीराइट आएगा यू तेरा चैनल डिलीट हो जाएगा। अरे वाह कसम क्या बोले थे बे। मजा आ गया था भाई। अरे भाई यू कॉपीराइट आएगा और यू तेरा चैनल डिलीट हो जाएगा। ओ भाई साहब एकदम सेक्सी बे मजा आ गया था भाई कसम से। फिर पूछता हूँ कैसे करूँ तो बोलता है अबे पागल है क्या मार खाना है क्या तेरे को ऐसा। मैं बोला फिर मैं कैसे करूं बोलते अबे पागल है क्या मार खाएगा। अबे भाई ड्रैग भाई भी एकदम ओपी जीचा वे। गाइस यार लाइक मारो बे लाइक नहीं हो रहे बे क्या कर रहे हो तुम लोग बे। कितना टाइम बचा है देखो 2 मिनट 8 सेकेंड ओ 1 मिनट 14 सेकेंड बचा है गाइस। 1 मिनट 14 सेकेंड 1 मिनट 8 सेकेंड 1 मिनट 6 5 4 3 2 1। बहुत ज्यादा एड्स चल रहे बे। अपनी इंडिया रुको तुम लोग को दिखाता हूँ 1 मिनट। अपनी इंडिया #4 पे आ जाओ। अपनी इंडिया #4 पे देखो। ये देखो मेरा अरे यार हटा दिया इन्होंने क्रॉसर दिख रहा है मेरा तुम लोग को। क्रॉसर दिख रहा है गाइस। गाइस यार लाइक मारो बे।
Alrighty, man. We are back, guys.
We
Thank you
are
so much for
back.
being so patient with us as we get this next game started. But we are here, we are live, and I'll tell you what, man, we got a lot to talk about, right? One team in particular that I think we should
चलो
talk about
लाइव हो गया बे।
is versus
थोड़ा सा अपना डिले चल रहा है बट सही है लाइव सही है।
so far here in Neptune, right? What are the chances you think we see another chicken dinner from them here soon?
100%. 100%.
100%.
Yeah, here we go.
There you go. Right?
100%.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Yeah.
All right.
No, because
I like it.
think the way these teams are playing, you gotta be adaptable. And VP
गाइस
is
लाइक
one
मारो
of the
बे
most
फटाफट लाइक
one of
मारो
the
तुम लोग ठीक है।
opportunistic teams in this lobby. They will do anything. Long rotations, short rotations, compact split. They will rotate through the blue, so you can't even be 100%
100%
confident
हो गया
there's
भाई।
no one behind you. Because VP, they're coming up over the hill to get that third party, to play exactly how they need to play for a circle. That's my favorite kind of team, is how they play. Is they
अभी
play
देखते हैं भाई अपनी
in
ओजी क्या
games
करती है।
not based on
और
attacking,
जेली वाली
but
टीम
defense that
का
far.
मैच आज नहीं होगा। आई थिंक कल या परसों वाली उसमें है ग्रुप में है। टीम इंडिया को एक ही ग्रुप में नहीं डाला भाई। टॉप 7 तो आना है। टॉप 4 पे अपनी इंडिया है। देखते हैं क्या होता है भाई। अभी 3 मैचेस बचे भाई अभी समझ रहे हो। ये तीसरा मैच चालू होने वाला है। इसके बाद 2 मैचेस बचेंगे ठीक है।
Yeah, they are not messing around here, and that's what I love when you have such a
1 2
stacked
3
lobby
4
here.
6
If a team
अबे
gets
6
it
मैचेस
going,
है बे।
you're gonna get a whole bunch of
3 मैचेस
eliminations
और
and
बचेंगे
chicken
इसके बाद।
dinner all day long. But you know what? The next game is about to start. Let's head on over to John and Blank and take us away.
चलो आ गया स्टार्ट हो गया भाई। एंगल फिर से
Welcome to match number 3. We're
Match
going to
number
Erangel
3.
one more time. Well, for now, we have got another one in the back pocket still. But match number 3 is underway. The plane path from Kameshki over towards the south.
प्लेन पाथ कमास्की से आ रहा है बे।
Of the island, Blank. We're looking at that hot drop down in C block. It's probably happening again.
I mean, GS as well as APG really going at it that last game. That's been
भाई
going on
टॉप
for
पे
quite
भाई
some
आरेड
time
बैठी है।
as well,
पिछले
so
मैच में
we'll see how that one ends
पिछले
up.
मैच में
Last
उन्होंने
game
पता है
was pretty poor.
क्या
But
चिकन
we'll
निकाला
see,
भाई।
we'll see if they can improve that on one side or the other.
भाई मेरी जान लोग लाइक मार देना बे फटाफट ठीक है।
The talk starting over towards Kameshki to begin this game off. R8 doing fairly well so far. Some good games from them.
एपीजी का देखते हैं क्या हॉट ड्रॉप है।
On Rondo into a
A7
well-controlled finish over on our previous Erangel.
80 का मैच क्यों 3 है भाई। टीटी
In this game. Hopefully less atrocious than our Rondo match.
जोन देखो, जहां तक लग रहा है भाई इस बार मिलिट्री में आएगा, मुझे लग रहा है
Teams dropping out. I am
मिलिट्री तक जा सकता है भाई।
that south side.
क्या बोलती हो कंपनी?
Maybe
पब्लिक
lack of teams
देख रहे हो ना तुम लोग?
over on the area against Alpha Gaming. That could be a quick reassessment. North side on the circle, and it will be up towards Yasnaya. We like going north, it seems, this time.
गीक फिर इस बार गीक भाई, पिछले मैच में पता है गीक और उसका हॉट ड्रॉप पे ही फाइट हो गया था, बाप रे बाप।
We'll see if that's going to benefit the teams who are already up there.
देख ले वे,
I mean, GS dropped out nice and early over towards Saverny side. So
भाई इनको गाड़ी भी मिल गई भाई, इतनी जल्दी कहाँ से ये लोग गाड़ी ढूंढ लेते हैं बे?
again, I think that's completely acceptable considering
इतनी जल्दी कहाँ से ये गाड़ी ढूंढ लेते हैं?
APG is, and the APG is not likely going to give up their spot. They're a very proud team when it comes to that sort of thing. I think for GS to be the first one to give it up is quite an
भाई
achievement.
पहले मैच में अपना इंडिया #6 पे था,
And you'd expect it to
दूसरा
happen
मैच
at
हुआ
the largest
अपना
occasion.
इंडिया #4 पे था, ठीक है 4 पे आ
Gives
गया।
them more chance
अभी
of points.
थर्ड मैच स्टार्ट हुआ है,
Seven
अपना इंडिया
is one
टॉप
of the
2
most
पे आना चाहिए और
difficult
चौथे मैच में
you could
टॉप 1
find
होना
one
चाहिए, उसके
bad
बाद
game,
भाई
let's
चिकन पे
say,
चिकन आना चाहिए बस।
GS, they decided their bad game was right there and then.
हल्लू हल्लू करेंगे बे।
Where they basically got nothing done because the fight dragged on for so long.
गाइस यार अपने दोस्तों को भी शेयर मार दो मेरी जान लोग, और भाई को लाइक करो बे, ठीक है?
Get a decent position the circle off the back of it as well.
अपने को चैनल डिलीट होने का कोई वो नहीं है, दूसरा बनाएंगे दूसरे पे कर देंगे, इसके लिए मैं मेन चैनल पे नहीं किया हूँ क्योंकि कॉपीराइट का बहुत ज्यादा इशू रहता है।
Here with the winners of the first
I think we got a little
interview
PMGC, the Gauntlet,
to
they won
check in with
RA.
RA.
Ida. I mean, Rondo was quite a performance, and you guys back it up here with the win. How are you feeling?
Great now. So we start in Rondo with good points. So in Arangel we must do the same.
Are we going to get more wins from you guys today?
Of course.
ओ भाई कॉन्फिडेंस देख रहे हो बंदे का, कॉन्फिडेंस देख रहे हो, क्या बात है बे।
Confidence from RA. They've had a good time so far. Blank, they're on third.
देखना भाई, मेरे को ना PMGC वाले ना, जब मैं स्ट्रीम एंड करके चिल कर रहा हूँ ना, तब मेरे को डायरेक्ट ईमेल आएगा, योर चैनल वाज डिलीटेड। की माँ की आग।
That they will. The 7 was here and he was gone. Wasn't
He's
around
quick.
for
He's in.
long,
He's
but
out.
We miss him already. We miss him already. Northeast side of the circle. Yes, not completely.
गाड़ी चेंज करेगा।
More
अच्छा गाड़ी दिला दिया
over
इसको।
that way, but,
अभी तक फाइट नहीं हुई बे किसी की।
hitting there. GS, Max is saying that this is their second spot on the map anyway. This is not too big of a deal for them. Able to Saverny. Honestly, I'd hope they would avoid the
HD में
fight.
है।
I think Saverny's open right now. I don't think there's much reason not to go there.
क्वालिटी सही है बे।
I think if you're getting a southern
गाइस तुम लोग को सही दिख रहा है कि नहीं दिख रहा है बे, ये बताओ।
likely both teams will clash. But we'll see.
अबे कौन 3 लोग है बे?
Again, it's one of those things where I think having a free open drop spot is far better than clashing between a strong team like APG as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they, despite being able to win it that last time around, right? It's
अबे लाइक कौन कम कर रहा है बे, ये बताओ तुम पहले। हाँ लाइक कौन कम कर रहा है?
Lone survivor from Orangutan from the last game. He's riding strong into this one. Let's see if they can make their way.
ये बताओ तुम।
Currently, Orangutan making their way up from around shelter, around the lumber yard, the top of the hill on the southeast side, and they're moving up to the east side of Yasnaya right now. They have got 2 players a lot further back, so I don't think they're going to be looking to take on Alpha 7 anytime soon. You can see them just over the hill, but they have stopped off in a pretty solid compound here. We'll give them a couple of opportunities, a couple of decisions to make and options to rotate into the next stages of this game. A nice little foothold for them to be playing forwards. Hopefully they can do the same as last time and get into those later stages, but maybe with a few more players.
Possibly a few more points as well, because for Alpha 7, who is a prestigious team overall,
ओ भाई
with a lot of
क्या
background
बोलूं
and
मैं अब?
being one of the most aggressive in the lobby, it is a little bit unfortunate seeing them play the way they have, but It's given them 9 points at least, but RA is quite clearly leading at 33.
बतावा
I think
लाइक ये कम
generally
होएगी
our
बाऊ
average right now is probably about
ये
18
कौन
points
तरीका बा
away, across the board. So any team that's in around that 10-point region, it's not a massive jump you need to make to get over towards the top side, to get towards the top 7 position right now. But it's a case of holding on to that spot at the end of the day. Over towards Northeast, though, Kameshki split from Thunder Talks. That has been regrouped over towards the south side of Stalba now, who are on our screens. They are rotating similarly on the path of Alpha 7, and Thunder Talks, I think, are realizing that they need to hold out on this eastern rotate.
King moving over on that northern side.
Hi, Dave.
Few
Hi, Dave.
players that can go toe-to-toe with Silas in terms of accolades in the PUBG Mobile world. He has got a storied history, although it has been a while since he sat atop the pack. Certainly Silas with a more recent dominant performance showing. We'll see if that clash continues to bear out this time around. So far, both Regnum Kaya and Thunder Talk doing well on the game so far. The first 2 matches have gone well for both of them. It's 23 points for Thunder Talk, Regnum Kaya with 16, and still plenty more to prove themselves further. So we'll see what more they can do. DRX, again, another global championship title team. They're moving in over that North Yasnaya Lake. So a lot of our teams with that global legacy currently packed in on the north side of Yas Lake.
इस बार भाई बहुत सेफ खेल रहे बे बंदे
Pretty atrocious gear, though.
इस बार बहुत सेफ खेल रहे बंदे
Level 1 helmet, vest, and a long journey from DRX to get towards a position. And honestly, from this spot, not massively guaranteed a lot of looting capability.
इस बार बंदे बहुत सेफ खेल रहे गाइस
They're able to shift on down on the south side of the lake there and pick up the buildings. Mad Bulls finding shots over towards Silas, immediately removing him from the equation. That was an outpost, and that was instantaneous. So Raven Kaya loses a critical component of the team nice and early in this game.
Well, you say nice and early. Not nice for the fans from the Turkish region or for Regnum Kaya fans, but brilliant for everyone else around them. We'll see what they can do with 3, though. See if they continue to find some fights. Hang on a minute. Are they split? Is that Loxy all the way down on the south? I think it is. Yeah, that is. I thought they were all up on the
ये
north side.
भाई
That
जोन
might
के
have been a lot
सेंटर
better
में
for them, as
वाह
the circle's
कसम
just popped up there as well. Xavier with a large swath
भाई
of that way to
साहब
the southeast side of Severny. Great for GS on that pop as well.
सेवर्नी शिफ्ट कर गया भाई जोन ने क्या शिफ्ट लिया
They
भाई
have faltered in their hold so far in both of the matches we've seen.
भी बहुत गंदी फाइट होने वाली है भाई
Times has been a little bit difficult getting backstabbed as well on the third party, but for the Xavier, they are a pretty damn good team, honestly. I'd hope to see them do a little bit more. I mean, they haven't been having a horrid
हारू
time
के
so
पास
far.
जा रहे हैं भाई
12
बंदे
points, it's not the worst thing that could happen to them.
हारू अकेला है बे
They just need one good game on the day, and if they can keep
ओ नाइस यार
on this trajectory, they'll be fine. This was the rollout towards Silas. He was attempting to get towards our wizard tower, some kind of position to hold.
DRX का एक बंदा हो गया खत्म
Pop out on the vehicle, and again you get into
और
that
आरईजी का भी गया अबे
tournaments
ओजी
now in the year where those plays are common.
अबे ओजी का एक बंदा
So yeah,
खत्म हो गया
can't
भाई
really just be rotating wildly out in the open.
No, you will get spotted. You will get taken down. Weighed and measured, found wanting this time around for Regnum Kaya. Taking shots out towards Orangutan as they move over the hills. Actually doing so fairly successfully. 4 position, working out, and they'll stay as 3 for now. They did lose a player earlier, but this is a solid shot straight on through. The difficulty is, though, there's a lot of teams on that north side already.
#2 के 6 पॉइंट मिले थे भाई बंदों को
They are here on this north side, playing near those cable car.
ओजी 5 पे आ गई गाइस 4 से
Playing near one of those stations. They're taking shots over towards Ulf as they try and rotate through. Teams are getting neighborly. It is not a solid place to be moving into right now. It is very, very dangerous.
I talked a lot about VP, and I think for fair reason as well, is that they were a menace in their region and continue to be a menace here. PMGC, they're rotating in from that northeast side though, so they are late to the party. Will be coming in at the back of the QE arena. already set up. DRX moving in towards Severny alongside them on the south side. Have a couple of 2 stories to work with. DRX currently only on 3 players though, so not wanting to engage any fight early. I mean, a very ambitious shot. I'll put it that way.
Sometimes you got to take them, you know. If you land 1 in 10 times, you get a point.
एबीजी के तीनों बंदों के भाई जोन से आए तो उनकी हेल्थ थोड़ी डाउन.
It's fine. It's fine. We'll carry on. We'll crack on with it. Next circle coming on through fairly soon as well as the Wolves try and take the shots.
हाँ मिनी चला रहा है भाई ये.
Being responded towards over towards that shooting range hill. Wolves wanting to get away and wrap around towards where Regnum Kaya sit.
मिनी M4
With this circle, that's
कॉम्बो देख रहे हो भाई.
they're going to try for Regnum
बंदे का मिनी और M4 है.
Continue to send in. We'll see if they make that mystical rotate, but Thunder Talk may be slap bang in their way. I think this is going to break out into new mutiny here in the middle.
अबे यार.
A very quick rotation as fast